I was going to jump straight into a bunch of clips and stuff like that, but then all this news broke around the FD 1023, and oh boy, just some of this, the reporting on it. I saw Jamie Raskin's statement on it, and by what he was saying, I could tell that there was just so much excrement being flung around. Speaking of Chris Christie entering the race, um, we'll deal with him in our own time, in our own way, in our own pants. But in this one, so this is Dum Dum went with they had Dum Dum summer camp in a skiff, which is a secure information facility, whatever, and it's spelled SCIF. It's an acronym, and Trump spelled it with a K, like a boat. And again, if he hadn't been president, you'd almost let that slide. But what an asshole! Anyway, so this is she makes this point, like, we went to this skiff, and I couldn't take notes in there, so I wrote down some notes afterwards. Now, I gotta say, from some of the details that Boebert and them have been floating around, my bullshit detector just went through the fucking roof. And let's listen to this. This is a significant clip. There's she goes on about this, and let's set this up. I had taken the details, that this particular thing, that this $5 million bribe that supposedly existed was, if you listen to James Comer, it was a country we've never even heard of. I mean, not like even beyond Romania. This is not a country we've dealt with before. Nobody's ever covered this, and it has nothing to do with the hard drive laptop, or the illusion therein, or Rudy Giuliani's information. Any of that shit has nothing to do with that. This is, in and of itself, an entirely different country. Papua New Guinea, maybe, could be Guam. Well, Guam's our own territory, but wouldn't leave it to Biden. Chad, I don't know. Everybody's suggesting possibilities in the chat. But this is yeah. Let's check this out for a second, if we can. Let me see if I can. Ooh, that's unfortunate. That is just, it's a square video, so give me 1 second while I have to move this. This is just rude. Why would you do this to me? Let's do this guy. We'll drag this down like this, and do I have to drag where's the option key? There it is. Nope. Grab this guy. And is it locked? What's happening? Okay, that's not locked. Well, maybe that's just that can't be the top of it. Hold on. What the hell? I mean, not that any of us need to see any more of her, but grab this. Why is it not? There we go. Yeah, okay. So she's this is apparently hallway karaoke. I don't know why that was hard to click on. That's just kind of the aggravation I deal with. But we make it happen. So she just came out of this skiff. She just saw the FD 1023. She's going to break some news that isn't already broken. Again, totally different country. Nothing we've ever heard before. $5 million bribe times 2. Here it comes. Bring it. Let me hear and I'm sure there is nothing in this that yours truly will ever be able to refute in short order. Hold on, at any given time. It's just not going to be possible. Let's see, I've got to fix this too. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. I'm gonna have nothing. You just know it. You can just kind of tell. It's so hard. I mean, gosh, I don't know. Some days I don't even know how I do this job. It's hold on, move this down here, move that up there. We'll take this, move that up there. I'm fixing shots while I do this. All right, here we go. So this is the breakdown. This is all we need. This is the new information. Don't forget to like, subscribe. It's Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide, and The fact that you're here shows taste and breeding on your part. And by the way, hi maggot trolls, welcome.
Reading this form today shows the pure distinction. This information,
this is a pure distinction. It stinks. God damn, the audio is just ass on this. Okay, sorry. We're just gonna have to. I'm jacking it up as high as I can. Here we go.
The source that came forward, it's a paid informant by the FBI.
It's a paid informant by the FBI, who, by the way, she wants you to know that she trusts the FBI now, and she trusts their sources, and she especially trusts their paid sources. Yes, I know, it seems like a contradiction, but it's not. Oh, no.
This has nothing to do with Giuliani. This has nothing to do with the information that he brought forward in 2020.
Nothing to do with Giuliani or the mythology. We won't call it information. We'll call it, well, unless you want to talk about that picture of Hunter smoking in the bathtub. I'm so scarred. At least he covered his nipples. I mean, there's still some decency left.
It's totally separate, and it's extremely credible.
By the way, the reason they're saying it's totally separate is because they know the information from the hard drive that Rudy Giuliani purchased from these assholes in Russia via Ukraine at the time. All of that is useless in a court of law. So they're all trying to like go, well, all right, that's the FBI literally couldn't go any further if this all came from Rudy Giuliani, and any first-year law student could tell you that. But so nothing to do with it. Nothing. I repeat, nothing. And I'm sure when we look this up in a moment, I'm certain that will be the case. It will absolutely play out. Nothing.
Because he's a paid informant. I made some notes after I left the skiff.
She made some notes after she left the skiff. And by the way, I'm glad she dressed up for work, and it's nice. Remember when tan suit was a thing? Remember when John Fetterman doesn't dress for being a government official? Remember nothing? Okay.
Based on the information, and I'll share that with you guys right now. Basically, what was happening.
Basically, oh God, she's gone to the Laura Loomer School of Politics. Scheisse. Move this over here. Okay.
Happening there is
basically
back in 2015, 2016, Burisma was looking to buy a U.S.-based oil and gas.
Okay, yeah, you heard that right. Back in 2015, 2016, Burisma, I think that's how you say it.
The Burmese executives. So this Burmese, they say, pronounce it Burmese.
Yeah, some if I'm familiar with the story, in Ukraine, is it? Hardly a country that we don't hear about. By the way, Slava Ukraine.
Gas company, and this
Burisma was going to buy a U.S. gas company, is the theory.
Came from being advised by Hunter Biden.
So Hunter Biden advised Burisma to purchase an American gas company.
Partners.
Investment advice. Buy American. These fucking Bidens, man.
Biden said Shokin was corrupt. That was.
Yes, Biden said, Biden did say Shokin was corrupt. That's true. And so did, checks notes, so did everyone else.
Around the time of this meeting was when Joe Biden, as vice president, had said that the prosecutor Shokin was corrupt.
Yeah, he didn't singularly say this, but please go on.
They hired Hunter on the board to make the problems go away. That's what they specifically said.
What, hold on. What problem? The Shokin or their corruption? Because it did work. If they hired him to help get rid of the corruption, then that worked. That was actually what occurred.
Hunter advised that they could raise more money if they bought a U.S. company. So.
Okay. I'm sure you've checked that out to see if it's actually true.
The The informant was trying to do the right thing and trying to advise Burisma that they shouldn't go this route. They should hire an attorney, work out their problems that they were being investigated for because they were having other legal problems, and that's why they were being investigated.
Okay, so this informant is either on the board or was advising the head of Burisma at the time. And was is this Tony Bobolinsky? Okay. I'm getting aggravated now. Because, by the way, all this is asked and answered shit. All right, maybe there's more to it. So the idea is that Hunter Biden gave them legal and business advice that this person disagreed with. So far, so good.
By this prosecutor, Shokin. The informant was advising them, don't go this route.
The informant was an advisor to Burisma to not buy American. Okay, cool.
Why would you buy another U.S. company while you're under investigation? That's not a good idea.
Yes, it sounds like Russia's plan to keep Ukraine out of NATO. Invade because you can't join NATO if you have a border dispute. So if we don't want you to join NATO, we'll just invade your border.
So he's trying to tell them to do the right thing.
What? And by the way, what the fuck do you mean the right thing? The fuck is it? Oh boy. This is worse than I thought. This is dumber than I thought. And that's I mean, and it's her talking about it. You know how difficult that is? All right. This honest to God, this is fucking stupid. Please get to a crime.
The owner of Burisma said that Hunter was stupid and that his other business partner was smart.
I see. So the current owner at that time of Burisma, who checks notes, fled the country, was viewed Hunter Biden as stupid and viewed this guy as smart, this person. And so they didn't, I guess, take either of their advice because Shokin got kicked off. They investigated the head of Burisma, not the board, but the head himself, and he fled the country. Okay.
He also said that he paid $5 million to one Biden, and he paid $5 million to another Biden.
Wait, the informant paid $5 million, or the head of Burisma did?
And it was all a bribery to get Shokin fired and end the investigation into Burisma.
What? Why the living shit would you bribe someone to do the job they're sent someplace to do? What are you, standing in front of a burning apartment building and bribing firefighters to keep spraying water on it? What the fuck are you talking about? Biden had been sent by the White House. He didn't even have the call on it. He couldn't make this singular. Everybody would, oh, for fuck's sake. The reason he bragged about that $1 billion is because he was sent there to do a job and he fucking well did it. He accomplished it. And by the way, do people realize, and maybe they don't, maybe I'm, all right, that the $1 billion the U.S. withheld about this particular prosecutor because corruption was so endemic during that time was in line with the European Union, the Congress of the United States of America, the full support of the administration, and the IMF, who were all of them, everyone was saying, withhold aid to Ukraine if they don't start brooming these Russian fucks who are intentionally cadavering the fucking government there. I'll give you an example, if I may. Hold on one second. This right here. Can this go? Yeah, here you go. This is around the same time, too. This is Christine Lagarde in Davos in let's see, when was this? This was in 2016. The Guardian.com. IMF warns Ukraine, or 2015. IMF this is all around the same time. So, yeah, here you go. Latest figures for the third quarter of 2015 show the Ukrainian economy contracting at an annual rate of more than 7%. IMF support has been vital to preventing a bigger collapse in output and in brokering a debt relief deal with investors. But interest rates on Ukrainian bonds have risen sharply, in the currency, the hryvnia, was trading close to a one-year low against the U.S. dollar. According to an IMF statement, Pavlo Klimkin, the Ukrainian foreign minister, said, "I do not consider it as a warning, but as a message." Oh, this is when she warned what they said. Christine Lagarde Davos said, the International Monetary Fund has warned it will halt its $40 billion bailout program to Ukraine unless the conflict-torn Eastern European country takes immediate action to tackle corruption. And the guy who they got rid of, Shokin, and this is Shokin. What people were pissed at him about was that he was not going after the oligarchs that were engaged in corruption to undermine the Ukrainian government and the will of the Ukrainian people and to help Russia maintain control over the state. The actions at the center of Trump's allegation occurred in late 2015, early 2016, when U.S. aid was critical to Ukraine. Russia had seized control of Ukraine's Crimean Peninsula and was supporting separatists who were fighting. Biden took an interest in Ukraine, said Stephen Pfeiffer, a William J. Perry Fellow at Stanford University and former ambassador to Ukraine under President Bill Clinton. You saw the vice president begin to emerge as really sort of a senior policy lead on Ukraine. And it's good to have attention at that level. At one point, Biden withheld $1 billion in aid to Ukraine to pressure the government to remove Shokin from the prosecutor general's office. Trump and his personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani, and this is why Dum Dum is saying this had nothing to do with what Rudy said, because it absolutely fucking did, claim that Biden did this to quash Shokin's investigation into Ukraine's largest gas company, Burisma Holdings, and its owner, Mykola Zlochevsky. They say this benefited Biden's son, Hunter, who served as on Burisma's board of directors, for which he was paid $50,000 a month. Their assertion is contradicted by former diplomatic officials who were following the issue at the time. Burisma Holdings was not under scrutiny at the time Joe Biden called for Shokin's ouster. According to the National Anti-Corruption Bureau of Ukraine, an independent agency set up in 2014 that has worked closely with the FBI, Shokin's office had investigated Burisma, but the probe focused on a period before Hunter Biden joined the company. According to the Anti-Corruption Bureau, the investigation dealt with the Ministry of Ecology, which allegedly granted special permits to Burisma between 2010 and 2012, the agency said. Hunter Biden did not join the company until 2014. Critics of Hunter Biden have questioned how he landed such a lucrative role with no experience, but it's not unusual for Ukrainian companies to bring high-profile people from the West in an effort to burnish their image and gain influence. Cofer Black, who served as Bush's CIA counterterrorism chief, joined Burisma's board in 2017. There is no evidence that Hunter Biden did anything wrong, said Yuri Lutsenko, the prosecutor general who succeeded Shokin. However, Lutsenko, who's also faced criticism for his actions as a prosecutor, supported Trump's claim before changing his story. He resigned as prosecutor in August. The Burisma investigation ended with a settlement and a fine paid by one of the firm's accountants. According to Sergei Lyshenko, a former Ukrainian lawmaker who spearheaded anti-corruption efforts under former President Poroshenko. How Biden leveraged U.S. aid to oust prosecutor. In the wake of 2014 ouster of pro-Russian President Viktor Yanukovych, European and U.S. officials stepped up their effort to deal with corruption in Ukraine. A big part of our diplomacy was pushing the Ukrainian government to clean up the corruption, partly because it was the corruption that allowed Russia to manipulate the country politically and economically. And by the way, everybody who's like, we fomented a coup and blah, 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 that's Kremlin talking points. They're carrying that. That's Putin ball gargling writ large. Charles Kupchan, who served as a special assistant to Barack Obama and a senior director of European Affairs on the National Security Council, Biden used U.S. aid as a stick to move Ukraine forward. Kupchan said he was acting alongside our European allies. Everybody was of a single mind that this prosecutor was not the right guy for the job. Biden has boasted about his role getting Shokin fired during a 2018 speech at the Council on Foreign Relations, where they're like, he's caught on tape doing it. Like, on tape, motherfucker, he was on a stage. He said he withheld $1 billion in loan guarantees for Ukraine in order to force the government to address the problem with its top prosecutor. I looked at them and said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. The prosecutor's not fired. You're not getting the money. Well, son of a bitch, he got fired. And they put in some place who was solid at the time. Piper, who's also oversaw diplomacy with Russia and Ukraine under President George W. Bush, said it was appropriate for Biden to use aid as a leverage. He said he used similar methods to pressure Ukraine himself. There you go. Even without any credible evidence that Joe Biden sought to benefit his son, Piper said Hunter Biden showed poor judgment in getting involved with Ukraine. At that point, it was pretty clear that his father was already the lead American policy person on Ukraine, and even if there's no conflict of interest, I think he should have been more mindful of how that appears. Agreed, but he wasn't expecting his dad to run after the presidency, and that was going to be that and whatever. International effort to fight corruption. There you go. So, the fact that this is not another story about another state that we haven't even heard of. You think Romania is a story. Here comes the Czech Republic. No, this is the same fucking Ukrainian horseshit we have heard since Trump and Giuliani started peddling this shit 5 years ago.
He also told the informant this is common practice in Russia and Ukraine. Common practice, it's part of business there, that's how their culture works, that they will pay bribery money in order to get business deals done, and that many businesses, they take that into account, they put it in their budget.
So the informant says that Ukraine is corrupt because that's how they do things in Russia, and that's how it will always be, that's just how it goes, and they write this into their bottom line.
Basically, when they're preparing to buy another company or start another company, that's just normal. And so over in Ukraine, for them to consider hiring Hunter Biden on the board.
I see. So they here's the thing. They bribed Biden not because they needed to, not because he wasn't already going to get Shokin fired, because that's what the U.S. wanted, that's what the IMF wanted, that's what the World Bank wanted, that's what the European leaders wanted, that's what the Congress wanted at the time. No, it wasn't because of that. It's just habit. They're so used to doling out millions of dollars in bribes, they just forgot who the fuck they were bribing. They're like, oh shit, we didn't even need to give them the five. It's like a tick.
In order to make their problems go away, which was the prosecutor Shokin, who was investigating Burisma.
No, he wasn't.
For corruption and legal problems. This was definitely...
That's an edit. I don't know where that edit comes from. Is that her? Somebody asked something, or?
Illegal for a vice president of the United States and their family members.
No, it wasn't.
The informant had asked the owner of Burisma if he was happy that Trump won, and he said no, he was not happy. Remember, he had invested a lot of money into the Bidens to make his problems go away.
Joe Biden didn't run in 2016. So that guy supported Hillary?
But he did say that it would take 10 years for all of us to find out the payments made to the Bidens because of how many bank accounts there were. He said at the time there were no direct payments.
10 years. So outside the entire window of Biden being in office. So this can just ghost out there for fucking ever. Because this is yet again, everything is a reboot in fucking Trump land. And so they are allegation shopping. They benefited so much from Comey saying there is more to the Hillary Clinton email scandal and we've still got to look into it. That gave him a boost. That put him arguably over the top in the 2016 election. And he was so aware of that he went to Zelensky leading up to the 2020 election and said, just start investigating. It doesn't even have to turn out anything. We just want the stink of this on Biden so I can use it. They're still alleging and so because he's running again, it's just the same fucking game plan. The problem is they don't have there's supposed to be a whole nother country involved and they don't have one. It's the same story, asked and answered.
And it's made to the big guy, but in a meeting later, after he had become more upset as things were unfolding, he told the informant that he has 2 pieces of evidence showing proof of payment to Hunter and specifically Joe Biden.
Okay, so the informant says that the former head of Burisma has 2 pieces of information that he paid Joe Biden and Hunter Biden $5 million a piece. And he's got the receipt somewhere. Honestly, it's right here. And I'll get it to you if I need it. You need it right now. Well, I don't really need it. I'm saving it for a special day.
You see, I think what everyone needs to understand is that business owners.
Thank God we have people who are. I don't know why they keep moving this fucking camera around. Thank God we have a true small business owner who can explain to us how this all works. How does it work in Georgia, dum dum?
At least most smart ones, whether they're good or bad, whether they perform their business in a legal manner or a corrupt manner, they always keep records of their business payments.
Do they? They always do? Do they?
Accounts and receivables, that's how it's done.
I see. So are bribes under accounts or receivables? Are you receiving the contents of the bribe, or is the bribe considered part of the receivables because that's an outlay to do it? Or do you just have an account with the people that you're bribing? Or I just want to know how to put it in my ledger.
And this owner of Burisma kept a record, especially of the bribes. And if you're in an
Especially of the bribes. I may have forgotten a lot of my Uber, receipts, but I've got all the bribes written down. There's I had it in there. There was a small. Has anybody seen a big? It's like a bound thing, twine. Looks like a homeless lunatic's manifesto, pea stained. You can probably smell it if you get close enough. Those are all my bribe receipts. I have them around here somewhere.
industry where you have to pay bribes to get your business deals done.
Mm-hmm.
You always want to keep a record and keep.
Okay, hold on. Let me write this down because just in case. I mean, you gotta hold on. Okay, if she says yes, of course if. Always keep a record of your bribes. Probably should underline the word bribe. And she's not saying this, but capitalize the name of the person and who it's probably going to, right? That's it. And then it should probably have its own column in the ledger. I don't know. I'm going to have to find an accountant that speaks foreigner.
Proof of your bribes, because that's how you make sure you get.
I see. Yes, that's how you do it. That's how you control people. Excuse me, Gary. I have a receipt right here. Who paid you $5 million? This is not. Look, well, technically, this receipt only shows one person is engaged in a crime. But you know what? This is. I'm sorry to bother you, Gary. Keep at it. I hope you guys are learning a lot today about how to bribe your congressman.
People to follow through on what they're done with.
Follow through with what they're done with. I see.
Here I am like an idiot.
I read today is again shocking.
It's shocking. It is shocking, the number of big words. And I understood there would be no math.
This is what I read in the Treasury Department with all the SARS report is shocking.
It's shocking. I'm shocked. Are you shocked? Who's shocked? Tell me if you're shocked with a lightning bolt emoji, especially on Twitch.
But we are going to continue following this investigation. We're going to continue to look into every single thing that we can uncover.
Yes, absolutely. Look into everything you can uncover, and then cover it back up and make sure you tuck it in.
We need the FBI to keep cooperating with us. That's extremely important. And I have very high expectations of Christopher Wray that he'll do the right thing and continue showing us the information that we're asking for. What I'm upset about, though, is the FBI doesn't think the American people are worthy of this unclassified information. I certainly do. I think the American people deserve to see it and know every single bit of it. That's why.
Well, it's not, again, notice she's not calling it evidence. Information, unclassified information. But, again, an ongoing investigation. And this is the purpose of this. The entire purpose of this is we want to show this allegation written on a very important form. And the assumption is that there's a large group of people, hopefully some Democratic voters, that will go, oh dear, this is a pearl clutching campaign, and apparently it's at an insane asylum where she's being kept for her observation.
When I left this gift, I made all my notes on this piece of paper here.
Great. Now that paper's classified. Terrific.
So that I could
take it straight to Mar-a-Lago and don't talk to anybody along the way.
Explain everything to the American people.
I feel like I've been explained to at even. I know some of you are hearing this, and you may be reacting in a way that says, I don't know. This sounds like old news and largely bullshit, and it doesn't line up with the actual facts we have been aware of for years. And you'd be right. But on the bright side, we don't have to do any new reading. What good is a skiff? You can walk out and spill the beans. Exactly. And then you can write notes after. Yeah, it's just so stupid. It's so wonderfully stupid. It's so beautifully stupid. Can you just enjoy that fact? All right.